everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this episode, I will share with you my annulment of marriage in the Philippines, my experience. If anyone out there who is interested in pursuing an annulment of marriage, this video is for you. Watch this from start to finish so that you will know how the process works, how much time is needed, and how much will it cost you. I'm doing this in 2 parts series because the second part will need some running errands in the Philippines. In January of 2017, we were in the Philippines because my sister was very sick. Since we will be there for 2 months, we decided to contact a lawyer who can help us with the annulment of my marriage. We already knew one who can do it for us. The first step he wanted me to do was to answer questions that he sent me through my email. As I look at the questions, it's all basically personal informations. Questions such as, what is your complete maiden name? What is your complete address? What is the name of your husband? His complete address. What is your highest educational attainment? In what educational institution did you obtain it? Where and what company are you working at? And questions also about the relationship, such as, when was the first time you and your husband met? Describe him as to his traits, behavior, before marriage. When did you become sweethearts? How old were you then? When did the marriage took place? How old were you then? There were questions before the marriage and after the wedding. I was asked to enumerate his faults, his abnormal behaviors, and vices if he has any. I was also asked to be very specific about incidents that triggered the decline of the marriage. Are there witnesses who can corroborate about these incidents? There were also questions about children, properties that were acquired during the marriage, and who decided to separate first. I was asked if I exerted effort to save the marriage, and who left the house first. What was your parents' reaction to the separation? All in all, there were 60 questions in the questionnaire. It was made so that my lawyer will have an idea and information of my marital problems. I answered it all and sent it back to the lawyer. He replied stating that after reading all my answers, I have a strong case for declaration of nullity of marriage. The second step was to meet up with the lawyer. He accepted my case. The total package was 150,000 pesos, equivalent to 3,000 US dollars. 75,000 pesos was the down payment. I paid him up front. The remaining 75,000 pesos will be in 3 equal installments. 25,000 pesos for the first month, 25,000 pesos for the second month, and 25,000 pesos for the third month. Since I was already in the States, here in this country, I sent those payments via Western Union. What are included in the package? Acceptance fee, appearance fee, preparation of pleadings, motions, manifestations, compliance, judicial affidavits, and filing. professional fee for the services of a clinical psychologist, miscellaneous expenses such as mailing, photocopying, transcript of stenographic notes. What are not included? If my ex-husband cannot be served because he's nowhere to be found by the address that I gave, it will be publicized in a local newspaper, and I will have to pay for the expenses. And one more thing which is not included, if the case is elevated in an event of an appeal or petition for a review in the appellate court, it will be a separate package fee for that. The third step was for me to meet with the psychologist, the clinical psychologist in his office. It was again a series of questions asked about my marriage, what kind of traits and characteristics my ex-husband exhibited before and during the marriage. These questions are necessary to establish that he, my husband, was psychologically incapacitated. When all the documents were prepared by my lawyer, I signed the petition for declaration of nullity of marriage. Also later that year, my husband was served by the summons, which means that I don't have to pay for publication in the local newspaper. Yay! That was the first win in my case. The following year, which was 2018, my mother was asked to appear in the Regional Trial Court, Cebu City, where the case was filed. She was the first witness who can corroborate the incident in court. My mom said that she was not asked to speak in the stand. Also in that year, my psychologist was the second witness to appear in court. This time, he was asked to speak in the stand to testify to my case. I was the third and final witness to appear in court. I flew back to the Philippines for my court hearing on June 19, 2019. My lawyer prepped me the day before. I was cross-examined by the prosecutor. I was very nervous. And the court was very quiet. My mother was there, my sister was there. And I remember the last question that Judge Veloso, the presiding judge, asked me. And her question was, why is it that it took you too long to file an annulment of marriage when you have been separated since 2000? I cannot afford an annulment, Your Honor, from a teacher's salary in the Philippines. So your lawyer is expensive? I said, yes, Your Honor, very expensive. And there was a roar of laughter. By August 2019, that was like 45 days after I appeared in court, my annulment was granted. My lawyer emailed me, and it was a sigh of relief. It was granted. Now, to summarize, it took 2 years and 6 months for the case to be decided. It cost me $3,000 US, equivalent to 150,000 pesos. And I have to appear one time in the court. My friends who knew me, they said that, oh, it's too expensive, the process is too long, and why should you be asked to appear even one time at the court? Well, for me, I'm just glad that it's all over now. No more, it's done. And there are still something else that I have to do because there are some papers that needs to be annotated. So that will be the second part of my video once I will be back soon in the Philippines. So, what do you think? Please leave a comment, please like and share, and I hope that you have gained some information from my experience. Goodbye for now.